In different physiographic regions of India, Himalayan region has its own importance. That's why there are sometimes a number of applied questions related to Himalayas by the Commission. So, here we have to study the applied question related to Himalayas. Point number 1 is Purvanchal Himalaya is the southward extension of Himalayas. First, we should define what is Himalayas. Himalayas is a tertiary folded mountain range extending from the Pamir Nat in the west to the easternmost part of the Himalayas, Namcha Barwa, and from there its a southward part that comes up to Mizo Hill. This entire is Himalayan region, which can be divided in three major parts. First is Western Himalayas, which lies to the west of this Kali river, bordering the Nepal and Uttarakhand. And the second is Central Himalayas, that is also called Nepal Himalayas, the eastern boundary of which is Kanchenjunga and Singalila water divide range. And to the east of this Kanchenjunga and Singalila range, it is Eastern Himalayas. Eastern Himalayas is again divided in two parts. One, Sikkim, Bhutan and Arunachal Himalayas. The eastern margin of which is this Dihang river or Sampo river or Brahmaputra river, and here it is Korba Gorge which cuts this eastern Himalayas in two parts. One, Arunachal Himalayas, the other Purvanchal Himalayas. The part of Himalayas to the east of this Korba Gorge in Arunachal Pradesh and its southward extension in Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram and Tripura is called Purvanchal Himalaya, and it is the integral part of the Himalayan region. This is question wherein we have to focus on 2 points. What are the proofs that the eastern Himalayas are the part of the entire Himalayas? In proof, first is topography or relief. In Himalayan region, we see that the greater Himalayas have high range having snow-clad peaks, and to its south it is middle Himalayan range which are lower than the greater, and again to the south of the middle Himalayan range it is Shivalik range which is of shortest height. The same is found in the Purvanchal Himalayas also, because these three ranges have bent south in these eastern states. That's why the greater Himalayan range extends in the Purvanchal Himalaya in the easternmost position adjacent to the Myanmar, to the west of this Kaba Valley. When we move west of these ranges, for example, these are the ranges called Patkoi, Naga and Lusai, and again in the south Siruhi Kasang. The easternmost peaks and ranges are higher, somewhere snow covered, and the middle Himalayas turned south from near Namcha Barwa, and it runs parallel to the highest peaks in the east, and in the south the Shivalik turned southward, and the Shivalik range is named here as Barail range, Atharamura, Jampai Tiang, Sakhai Tiang in Tripura. It means as Himalayan region we move from north to south, the height continuously decreases. In the same way, in the Purvanchal Himalaya, as we move from east to west, the height of ranges continuously decreases, and the eastern ranges and peaks are about 4,000 and 5,000 meters from sea level, while we move in the west means in Tripura, Atharamura, Sakhai Tiang and Jampai Tiang ranges, their height is 400 to 500 meters. It reveals that the Purvanchal Himalaya are the southward bend of the entire greater Himalayas, and structurally, thus topographically, there is similarity. Structurally, the eastern Himalayas are similar to the entire Himalayas. For example, like entire Himalayas, in Purvanchal Himalayas also, there are tertiary folded sedimentary structure wherein sandstone, limestone, marble, slate, clay, etc. are found in this region. And next point is pedologically, the Purvanchal Himalayas resembles with that of eastern Himalayas because the sedimentary clay and sand, silt, etc. are found in the valleys and along the mountain range slopes. And biotically or biologically, the Purvanchal Himalaya has the same biosphere as found on the entire Himalayas. For example, on the eastern range, it is coniferous forest, on the middle range, it is mixed forest, and on the westernmost range like Barail, Atharamura, Sakhaitiang, which is the southward extension of Shivalik, there are deciduous forests. Thus, biospherically, the Purvanchal Himalayas resembles with that of the entire Himalayas. Now, these prove that the Purvanchal Himalaya is the southward extension of the entire Himalayan region. Now, after resemblance, we have to study why this has taken place. Regarding its origin, we have to first see that when the Indian plate moved northward and northeastward, the sediment of Tethys Ocean was exerted pressure from south, and the Tibet Plateau caused obstruction, with the result during three phases, Eocene, Miocene, Pliocene, these three ranges, Greater Himalayas, Middle Himalayas and Shivalik Himalayas, came into existence, and these three phases are also noticed in the eastern Himalayas also. As the Tibet caused obstruction for the origin of the three ranges, in the same way to the east of Purvanchal Himalaya, there is Shan Plateau, part of Myanmar Shield or Myanmar Minor Plate, which caused obstruction to the northeast moving Indian plate, and due to its pressure here, the Tethys, narrow part of Tethys geosyncline experienced the pressure force from southwest, hence the sediment deposited in this geosyncline, the southward extension of Tethys, was raised up in three folded mountains which are found today here. And here it is also noteworthy thing that here the Meghalaya Plateau is integral part of the Chota Nagpur Plateau or peninsular India or Indian plate, which moved northeastward, and due to its northeastward movement, these mountain ranges came into existence. Here, enclave has been formed because of the Mikira and Rengma hills or monadnocks, which have been eroded down, and Mikira and Rengma are structurally integral part of the peninsular plateau or Chota Nagpur or northeastward extension of Meghalaya, and structurally Mikira and Rengma resemble with the structure and topography of Garo, Khasi and Jaintia. That's why here a ramp valley has been developed due to intrusion of these Mikira and Rengma in the geosyncline region, and this is the reason that the Purvanchal Himalayan ranges turned from Namcha Barwa southward. Thus, it can be proved that the Purvanchal Himalaya is topographically, structurally, climatically, pedologically and biospherically integral part of the Himalayan region. One more point is discuss importance of different valleys. In Himalayan region, if you saw, there are a number of valleys. First, we should define what is a valley. Valley is a low-lying area having both the sides higher, and there are a type of valleys formed due to endogenic forces and exogenic forces. The endogenic forces cause Synclineal Valley and Rift Valley, which are tectonic, and the valleys formed by the exogenic forces are fluvial valleys, glacial, karst, and a number of valleys. Here, the valleys found in Himalayan region are of two types. Number one, due to endogenic forces, which are synclinal valleys, and the second are the valleys formed by the external forces like karst valley, glaciofluvial valley, fluvial valley. Here we are least concerned with the river and karst and glacial valleys, because there are a number of rivers in Himalaya region. They have developed their own valleys which have their different and unique type of importance. But here we have to focus on the synclinal valley. What are the synclinal valley? Synclinal valleys are located between two ranges which are of tectonic origin. For example, here it is the Tibet Shield or Plateau, part of Angara land. To its south, here was Tethys geosyncline, and again to the south of Tethys geosyncline, here is the northern margin of Peninsular Plateau, part of the Indian plate, which started moving north and northeastward due to its pressure exerted on this Tethys geosyncline sediment. The greater, middle and Shivalik Himalayan ranges came into existence. First of all, Greater Himalayas came into existence, which was close to the southern margin of Tibet Plateau. Between the two, the valley could not develop. Rather, there existed a hinge line which separates two structural regions. In the north, the oldest rocks of Angara land. In the south, the younger tertiary sedimentary rock of the Greater Himalayas. There is no valley. But after the formation and existence of the Greater Himalayas, the sediment eroded down from the Greater Himalayas by glaciofluvial process deposited sediment in the south foothill of Greater Himalayas. Due to second phase of Himalayan orogeny, the Middle Himalayas came into existence, which was not so close with the Greater Himalayas. Between the two, there was a low-lying area which was sedimented by the material brought down from the Greater Himalayas in north and from the Middle Himalayas in the south. Thus, a valley was developed between Greater and Middle Himalayas. Likewise, after the origin of Middle Himalayas, this Shivalik came into existence, and between the Middle and Shivalik, again valley shape was developed, which is not called valley, rather this is called doon. Here but sometimes geographer call this doon as a valley, because valleys located between the Greater and Middle, and the valleys are low-lying areas located between the Middle and Shivalik are nearly of the same nature in origin, in characteristics and in importance. That's why dunes are also sometimes included in the list of valleys. But here we have to focus on the valleys which are of synclinal and tectonic origin, not erosional valleys. Here, if we start from Jammu and Kashmir, it is Betab and Lolab Valley in Jammu and Kashmir near Anantnag. Likewise, here is a Jojila Pass as well as river and valley. And then here it is Chamba Valley in Himachal Pradesh district, Solang Valley in Himachal Pradesh, and Glass Valley and Sangla Valley located in the Himachal Pradesh region. And here Kulu Manali Valley and other valleys also are important, which attract tourists and other economy. In Uttarakhand there is Bhuindar Valley and Dharma Valley, Johar Valley and Saur Valley in Pithoragarh district. Thus a number of valleys are also located in the Uttarakhand region. In the Nepal there are also a number of valleys, narrow valleys like Pokhara, which are important but for the geography of Nepal, not in the Himalayan geography of India. And here is Chumbi Valley located between Sikkim and Bhutan in the territory of China, which is important from the transport viewpoint because people from India reach to China through this valley. And in here Arunachal Pradesh there are a number of valleys, Tawang, Dihang, Dibang, Lohit and others named Kameng, and these are named after the rivers there in the Arunachal Himalayas. If we turn in the south, the valleys are also found between the eastern range and the central range of the Purvanchal Himalayas. It is here Kaba Valley located between the Purvanchal Himalayas and here Myanmar. And likewise here Happy Valley is located to the south of Garo Khasi Jaintia Hills, and it is a very important tourist spot. Thus a number of valleys are found in the Purvanchal Himalayas also. After location, you have to give the importance of these characteristic and importance of these valleys. As we know that these valleys have thick deposit of fertile alluvium, and there is humus and nutrient rich layer of the fertile soil, which has been brought by the fluvial and glacial process, from glacio-fluvial process from Greater Himalayas and fluvial process from Middle Himalayas. Thus this is very rich and thick soil which favors here the development of agriculture. Agriculturally, all these valleys are very important, and here especially Rabi crops, wheat, potato, peas, etc. are grown, and this is vegetatively also very important because here the mixed type of vegetation, some species from Greater Himalayas and some from Middle Himalayas grow, but those have been deforested, and here large scale intensive agriculture is practiced. In these valleys in West Himalayas, different types of fruits like apple, etc. is being produced. In the Eastern Himalayas, on the slope of these valleys, the tea crop is being practiced. Thus these valleys are very important agriculturally, vegetatively, because these valleys have plain. That's why there is good transport development, and due to transport development there are a number of local resource based industries and population density, and population resides in rural areas as well as the urban areas. There are a number of valley towns developed in these valleys, and this attracts tourism and enriches the Himalayan economy. And here different type of soft grasses grow on which the pastoral industry develops. Thus these valleys are economically, agriculturally of very much importance, and these provide the livelihood base for the local people there. Likewise, we can focus on different dunes which have the same character as the valley, like Dehradun, Kot Dune. These are also fertile regions and have rich soil, sufficient amount of moisture, soil moisture. That's why these are agriculturally rich and are densely populated. There are rural population and urban population both. Thus, we can say that these valleys and dunes are boon for the Himalayan region and its economy.